Having a reclining chair is absolutely amazing. You can go forward, back, you can go forward. It's incredible how it just vortexes connections. So I just set up my new calculations, my little office scene. It's in the bedroom line center, but it's on position location directions. But it's amazing how it comes in position to its locations where I have my phone and line center, the left line position location of space. Isn't it interesting? Why is my phone on the left line and not on the right position locations? Interline its connection position location is its digital pad. Now, this is the structure interference where it comes in position location, four line center, the sun communication, all levels of graph interference location line conditions, a 369 pattern. It's all position. The center line connection is all what? My computer. So my computer is set in signal. Left position of phone, right high line center locations, and high line rotation in position. So it's all about understanding 369. Three position locations of the sun is my phone line center, which is on the left line position location, which is all levels of your crown chakra. The center point of its computer line center is its connections to Orion's belt, to its Stargate line system, and everything forward. 3, 6, and 9 is going forward. Past position location of high line center is its presence. Okay, everything to the present is its future, and everything to its future is its future of its integration locations. So it's very powerful when you come into that position location of its directions to understand how to use it through its adaptation system, making sure it's in a triangulation, a 369 pattern. Okay, so we get a very powerful class today. We're going to about understanding the planetary line centers. You guys are going to go through your throat patterns, your carotid line, center line, your rotation line, position locations. Now there's 26,000 lines. All right, 26,000 lines on the neck, and it's all wired in division line center. It's in its coil resistant locations. So you got 3 circle spheres going around every single day, right? Carotid line center channel line rotations to metal face. The metal face high interference location, the plasma line channel. It opens all line center to metrical interference location, I receptor interference, high positions appearance, view. Connects to the line center location of Spock, when it comes up the high line center location of sonar. Your connection to the levels is its antenna. How to use it through track interference is extremely powerful with its indication locations. So we have a quiz coming up tomorrow line center interference. You guys have to use your computer line center while you're in position locations of flight navigation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 line center is your position location, your spine, which is your ramping system, communication tower line centers. That's 12 tower locations to your flight navigation system, GPS line center location, your kaleidoscopes. So that quiz is going to take you to all levels of test review and evaluations at the end of the month. Okay, because that's what it's based on. It's based on your test rec. I want you guys to learn how to create your own test rec on 12 dimensions of 12 correlations of 12 line system to its vortex chamber. Okay, so it's going to be a very powerful day today when we travel through the position location of direction. All right, I love this chair. It's like being in a rocket. It's like taken off in so many signal locations. So the eye line is in the perfect signal in its position direction. So as we set up signal locations, and we have zoom after right away. So I'm going to channel in the center. All right. So understand what you're doing is extremely, extremely important through its intelligent line. Now it gets more complicated thinking that why is there flight navigations all the way up to 12? What does that all mean? It's all connected to you because it is you. This is the true understanding when you see things in practical system line conditions. If I take my hand line center and basically put energy high interference location, it's energy that's going through. It's going right through my body, and it's recognizing my computer, my phone, or anything through the position locations of the sun. This is the sun. This is the moon. And when I draw things, it's position location 9-line system. See the A track? See? So it's all about understanding what you're doing through division location and its calculation line connections. See? It's all about understanding how to set things up in correlation. So when you draw, you travel. And when you travel, you're going through your high interference. You have to stand your flight navigation line centers at 1 to 3. Okay, so F1 equals 3, right? It's like, what's 1 plus 1? It's not 2, it's 3. So 1 plus 1 equals 3. See? So you take the 3-line center and interference in position to direction. So it's all about understanding how to use the 3-line rotation, which is all levels of its sun position location, high interference location of 3 directions to its position location of its direction line system. Okay, so truly understand how to use that through its flight 1 of its navigation of 3. So what's 3? What's 3 plus 3? In position location of 6. All right. So 6 comes in equal line center to all position locations. So it becomes high line centers of F6, high interference. So it calculates all levels. So this is where you truly have to use all levels of the air, the fire, the grounds, and everything, the water line center and position location of the directions. How to use the alpha line center, okay, equals teleportation line centers. Beta equals communication, right? Theta is teleportation, okay, or TV line center. TV equals reception to its position, location, and direction. All right, so there's a lot of things you have to learn how to use your tesseract channels, keyboards, key lines, key interference, singularity, singulatory, high interference location of high position locations, 2-point center interference, position, and direction. One here. Cross signals. There's an XT1000 jumping, right? To the location line conditions, right? So you have to learn how to zigzag in high interference. See the intelligence? Come into position, location of directions. There's the line center. There's the intelligence. See? See the intelligence? Mouth. See how it comes in form? Everything comes in form, line center, all levels of U through XT interference. Applied to division, location, and throw patterns. All right, so we got a road grab line centers, 3 line in rotation positions, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. The carotid line channel in position location of its direction location line conditions. Right. So we're going to go through the throat channel line interference, code signal and position location to redirect the high system, reduction, connection of interference channel, open outline interference locations, code signals. Calculation modification, streamline centers, crew units 1 and 2, squad units 1 and 2, high line interference location line conditions. GFL, everybody at the rebellion line center, sending master communication, send gods, set course line center interference, box channel communication system, regeneration light center, in rotation system location, right? Locked in sequence, high center line interference, electrical line wires in high rotation. 4 graph streams in high interference. Open L channel and high rise, high position location of direction. All right. As it comes its signal, it's going to travel out in high interference, position to its direction location. High channel and high line center ground interference in position of power line interference location. Magnetic highway information line connects to its position line direction. There you go. There's the intelligent interference. Clocking centers. And this is where we come into flight navigation. You have to really understand how to use the tesseract locations and 12 division location tactile high systems, 12 dimensional line centers, and 12 communications of tower recognition of time system. Okay. So it's a correlation panel. Now that correlation panel is its finger point location. Let's say you channel its point finger, right? Point dock signal and position locations. 1, 2, 3, right? There's 3 line centers, 3 line centers, 3 line centers, 3 line centers. That's 6. So it's all about understanding how 3-point line centers in front, 3-point line centers of Orion's belt, in position locations, into the sun, into the moon. Signal and position location direction. High channeling anything through its calculation, all levels of its code signal. All right. So it opens up 5 graph line centers. Okay. 6 in position, 7 high interference, 2 V vector line interference. See the V line center, graph interference, high position location direction. Correlate high interference locations. 30 minutes, have fun. Going through the throat pattern in a high position location of directions. You have to truly understand how to use it through calculations. So I really want you guys to understand how to use your tesseracts and all portal locations only in your 12 DNA. Okay. And I keep saying that over and over. You have to understand all position location of its direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There you go. 12 line position location of direction. All right. So as we go into that core system, it's all done through calculation. All right. So as you're channeling, you have to truly understand what you're doing through travel locations. All right. So how's everybody doing today? I'm just going to go to graph line channels, solar direction locations. Max, Cami, Missy, Christine. Okay, Don, Terry, Jill, Amby, Michael, Johnny, Amby, Remy, Christina, how you doing? Little Jess, Gypsy, Lindsay, True Light, how's it going? JP, all right. Rainer, Lacey, Sam, Lauren, Val, Jill. Great to see everybody on a Monday. So basic understanding is you have a 24 line. Okay, yeah, 12 line interference of light and 12 line center location of dark. You focus on the now and you'll be totally fine. Don't think about the future. It's not here. Don't think about the past. It doesn't exist. So the past line center is position location of its presence. View, going forward to position location. Center position location of 3 line center. See? 3 line center location. And position how to use it through the track system is extremely forward and so many level locations. Remember how we're going through back force and line channels into force direction of time system locations? Now it's going to get a little bit more complicated now, right? Because you're coming into your flight navigations. And that's why you have to understand why each computer has its position locations all connected to you. How to use it is another thing. It's the how unit. And that how becomes all levels of its why. Why this? Why that? Well, it's the how. Understanding the how puts everything in position location. So if I put my fingers together, you have to understand what is position of the grounds. This is the ground, right? So it's spinning. So you actually have to see it. So you have to see it spinning and it's line signaling up into the finger point locations. So you got the right graph and you got the left graph come together. All right, so it's setting signal, right? And then you're going to see it rotate. See? So when you understand when it gets closer, you can understand what it's doing. What is it doing? It's changing position, locations, right? So it's all about understanding northwest, south, and east and high line interference in position location directions. And that's what all position locations of high interference location is through Bashar. That's how he channels his high center. 2 moon line centers, 2 position of sun and position location of directions. Right. So when he closes his eyes, he knows exactly where it is, the frequency line and a rotation of its calculation to eye interference, its position location of its direction. High channels its eye line center location to 8 positions of the channel locations. So it's all about understanding how to set up your Merkaba location to its direction. How to basically get into the flow of travel, really understand the flow of its position location of its directions, right? It's about confusing all levels of space line, anybody that comes into your high interference. So it's really understanding the flow rates of time, space position location of yin and yang, how to set a course retract line center in rotation position, all levels of its connection. All right. So going through your throw patterns, electrical light interference is extremely powerful stuff. How you travel through it is amazing what you see through your carotides. So it's a code signal. Okay. So understanding that high in line, then you understand the map sequence location to its vessel, because the vessel communication line system is open all line to its position location of its direction. See how I change that? See? Just put my hand out, right? So it's all about understanding what you're seeing through calculations. Don't look at my hand, look at me. And then you see this comes in and out, right? So you're going to see this. That's what you see. That's what you see when it comes out. The line signals that comes in together. So it starts off this position. That's what it does. So you come in position location, you see 4, right? If you keep looking at me, you're going to see this come out like that. You're going to see 8. 8, not 4, 8, right? So when it goes faster, you can see that the dimensional line center is locking location. So you got to bring yourself back in position, location, and direction. All right. So there's a lot of things you have to understand through calculations, how to use your finger point location and dimensions. Each point line center in high position locations, 8 line rotations. You put this in calculation line conditions, you can bring it into so many high interference location and direction. See how it's locking signal? See that? It's all in locked system, right? Location is position. So how to channel it is all line center. Hold on a second. Okay, so as we're integrating high centers, interference, position, location, and direction, as you guys are going through the throat patterns, high channels, I'm going to recourse line center. Now, recourse is about going through high interference. So it's all about understanding what is this and what is this in calculation. Now, you know this is a negative line, right? And you know this is a positive line in position, right? It's how to use the both locations. Now, if you look really closely, you can understand that it's all levels of letters, numbers, shapes, and symbols, all in one, okay? So that's a true understanding when it comes into plateau, okay? Plateau, see? You turn it into a line center. So it's recoursing. So instead of this position of positive, it's now a plateau. So I changed the P, okay, from positive to plateau. That's recoursing channels. Now you got the positive high position locations. Now you can turn it into levels into a tetrahedron. Okay. So I wanted to show you how powerful it is when you have an antenna. You're an antenna, position, location, in all directions. So once you understand that, you can understand what this is. So the high channels is position, location, of directions. This is downshifting. This is upshifting location. Down, up. Okay. At high centers, it's high interference. All right. To its position. Okay. So you can reline, readjust, refocus, recalculate, modify high channels. So once you get into that, you come into this. You come into a graph line channel that opens all position location of its directions. All right. How to channel through it is extremely important. Simultaneously, location to its direction. So as it's going through high interference, it's channeling its highest center. It's creating its own anomaly. It's setting position location of its recourse line. So it's all about understanding if you know the north wind line centers, in position location of east, in position of west, in position of south, you're in correlation to a system. How to use it through weather interference, how weather works in all calculations. So this is how you come into your own plots. Plot signal to the location of a graph line channel at all position locations of its direction. So it resets line center locations to all levels, right? So I'm just showing you how you can recourse anything from positive and turn positive into plateau, plateau into planetarium, planetarium into position to position, all right? So it's interesting how you do these things, but you have to understand how to use your finger point locations, right? So your fingers are extremely powerful stuff. It comes in its own clocking system, okay? So you got 1, 2, 3, okay, position locations, right? 3 channel line centers, right? See that? 3 channel line centers. So the channel line center is set up in high system locations. So you got a 24 clocking system, you got a 48 window system, and you got a 72 line. Okay, 24, 48, 72. Do triangulation right there, right? You need the triangulation because it sets up position location of its Merkaba. So Merkaba is crossing signal in position location of direction. Okay, opening up dimensional line centers into 12 DNA position locations of direction. Always start with that 12 line. Okay, see it goes through. As it's going through line interference, we go into flight navigation 1, which starts at the bottom, right? That's what it is. You're standing, you're working your way up. Okay, so you go into flight 1 in position location, right? And then you come into flight 2. Okay, this is a higher line center, and then you come into all position locations of flight 3, high interference. We get 3 channel locations in direction to its system. See the pyramid? Now the pyramid comes in line center. It can change its laser direction interference in position locations of its directions. It high channels its high line center to the laser. Laser correlates its high line interference. Sets up sonar line centers of beacon lights. Sonar in a line channel location. As it comes in a graph line center, it's going into cross signals. Okay, so it's coming into a plasma web channel. Location to its system line connection. See the intelligence? As the intelligence comes in high position locations, we change interference. See? There's the intelligence. See? As the intelligence comes in high center interference, it changes all graph line center to its Merkabah location. Now we come into the green line channel, okay, to its calculation. Right? As it's in position locations, we line graph its downline stream in position of F1, F2, and F3. Okay? So it's all about understanding what your computer is of you. It's understanding how to use the keyboard channel to its position of graph lines, row graph location. See? So number sequence of F, high position location. This is just all levels of top sequence locations. So the F comes in position location here. And this comes into F1. Okay, and then you go into F2. Okay. And then you go into F3. So it's high channeling sideline center. Okay, 1, 2, 3 locations, F1, 2, and 3. So it's changing code signal locations of high interference. Now the 3 line center comes into high rotation to its position location of its direction. So you're setting up code signal locations on levels of graph line center location to its position. All right. So it gets complicated as you go, but it's a lot more fun because you understand simultaneously you're doing this all at once in one position location of its flight navigations to its GPS lock. Okay. All right. Drain Mac, how you doing? Let's see here. E-fields, hydrated, all chakras, Merkabah, flight check, ready, go. Setting to high line centers. So what we're going to do is we start off with the position locations at the very front of the keyboard, and we work our way down. So that's what it is, right? So in position locations starting here and working way down, but you have to stand the cross signal locations. So once you understand your flight navigation line centers, it's all about understanding how to use your space bars, how to use your caps, how to use your shift, how to use your calculations to your escape, how to use your tab. It's all calculated and modified, right? Because everything that you see in a keyboard line center is nothing but travel. You just have to learn how to travel through it in all position location to its flight navigation system, all 3 GPS lines, GPS locks, GPS channels, GPS divisions, high interference, low interference, medium line channel location in those directions. All right. So, all right. Sammy, how you doing? Okay. Sarah, Missy. So, moving slow, but we're, yep, okay, good. Okay, clearing spike. Okay, recalibrating data. Moving old programming, good. Harmonic frequencies are set in high line. Any block is cleared now doing virus scan and defrag. Yep. To understand all levels of you, that's most understanding, right, guys? That's what it's all about. How to use your test right location to your keyboards. So it's amazing too, because when you actually see, if you watch Space-Time Discoveries, where it correlates location to its point location. Let's say it's that point dot line center. That point dot turns into a box location, right? And that box just gets getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, to that position, right? So it's all about how to set these things up and signal to its position location. See? Channels in the high line center to the ceiling position. See the ceiling, right? So it's all about understanding how to set these things up. It correlates high interference location of direction. Always setting up dimensional levels. All you have to do is understand your travel through your 12 DNA. You don't get out of your 12 DNA until you understand your flight navigations from 1 to 12 to specific locations, right? Once you channel that high line center, you always set up a ground interference, always have the power line center, you always have the magnetic highway information given to you through data stream. Okay? So channel position locations. Anything through coloration will change its position and direction. So let's say we go into the green line center. Now we got the ground interference location and direction. Swivel up to the center position location of direction. We high channel its high electrical light connections and 3-panel interference. There's the fork. See? There's the fork. So in position location of past line, okay, in position locations of its present line, and in position location of its future, right? So as long as you understand the past, okay, is equal line. Okay, it's an arrow pointing location. Let's go into red line interference. Okay, position location of directions. As it's channeling, let me show you. Okay, so it's always moving forward. See, always moving forward, 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 forward. So past becomes the present, and the present becomes the future line. So always use past as a reference into the now, and you'll be fine, right? So, all right. Wow, what we got here: position locations, blue flame burns, chakras, energy, vibration, echoes, timelines, and dimensions. Clearing so much darkness, and throat goes out. Beautiful cleansing. Well, it's all about understanding how to use the airs, the fires, okay, opposition of the grounds and the waters. You guys have to learn how to use that. This is the throat pattern line interference. Okay, so you have to understand all channel locations and position of your vessel connections, right? How all wires are signaled through your carotid. Okay. If you're confused, that's totally fine because you have to understand how the clarity of your voice. So in position location of directions, if there's a little bit of a crisp line center in your throat, it's like a scratch to the roof of your mouth. You have to understand it's all attached. You are all attached in your vessel communication line system. So anything you do, anything you touch affects the throat line. Okay, so it's like see, it's all different mechanism of travel. It's all different colorations, right? So it's all about understanding. So it's all about understanding how to look at your throat as a full communication cycle. Read line, center line, conditional levels, how it comes down, position location of its directions into its flux capacitor. Right? See, this has a V. This has a V, and this comes down, right? So understanding how to set it up is extremely powerful, right? So you got the shoulder blades on the right line, and you got shoulder blades on the left line. Okay, right line is Earth, and left line is space. So you understand why I'm in a tactic view, why I always have my phone on the left line, and my computer in position of the straight line, and everything through all the position locations of the future line conditions of 9 positions of my digital pad communication system, right? So it's interesting, right? Because if I change my phone into the right line center locations, it's not interlining its connection to its heart, right? So it's not calculated and modified, right? So I have to put it back in position locations. So it's all about understanding changing your times and anything through all levels. So you can have 1, 2, and 3 in position location. All of a sudden, your throat pattern changes, and it's supposed to be in 0, 1 line center. So the 1, 2, and 3 put position. So it's all about understanding that your throat pattern is connected 0 and 1s. If it changes the coloration line system, you have to change it back to the color. Okay, so the throat pattern is blue, which is all lines of 0, 1. So it's all calculate and modify and how you use your position location of its emotional system. Now, if you're going into 0, 1, 2, and 3, what's happening in position location of its direction is high forcing line connections to your flight navigation systems. All right, so that's a true understanding how powerful it is to get into your test racks. Okay, when we get all calculations to its quiz. But I just want to show you how to use it to its calculation, to its flights, all right, to its command assist locations all through travel. How to set up the electrical graph, how to set position location on lines in your flight navigation system from 1 to 12. All right. So it's all about centering its position location. Each realm is given to you a high system. So the test rec is all levels of a computer. Now it sets its position of frame, key lines, key channel, dimensional lock lines. You got a dimensional lock line and interference location, all levels. Okay, it's calculated a modified high system location in those directions. So it's pages and pages and pages of information, right? So understanding its position location is all about how to open up the key to its highline center rotation to its position. It's always in the center operation, so you can travel through it in 12 locations, right? Take it out of position, location, of direction, right? But it's all about understanding how to open up the bulk of pages. And so once you're starting to do that, it correlates right away to the singularity line conditions of all position, location, and direction, right? It all channels its highline center in position of highest locations, all right, to its direction. Okay, so as it's traveling, the book is actually going to higher level rotation interference, has its grounds, has its powers, and has all line centers, so magnetic highway from its location to its calculations, right? So this is how you basically set position, location, and direction, all right? Once you're setting direction line systems, it's all about reading all lines. So you guys see it as a collective. It's all line in rotation is dimensional setting. Okay, you got a swirling channel and position location, 12 direction locations. So it's true to understand that you're all calculating modified levels. How to use the keyboard is all levels of U. How do you coordinate line center locations at F1 to F12? How do you understand the bracket and interference? How do you understand the number sequence? How do you understand the caps, the shifts, the controlling system, the escape lines? How do you understand the calculations to all levels of number sequence, lock interference channels? So it's all positioned what it is inside. It's all levels of U. But the more you understand what the computer is, it's all positional direction. So you got a window screen, okay, and you got a keyboard, right? So it's all about understanding how to use everything that's given to you in point location to its direction, right? Window screen, right? It's a computer. So once you understand that, then you can reach higher levels, okay? So you come into those line condition interference, 12 line center interference locations, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so you got 12 line centers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, that's what it looks like. So understand that you cross signal location to its position. Right, see that? See how it's a beautiful thing. So it reframes, readjusts. This is becoming the oscilogics. Each round line center interference location is its position of directions. All right. It high channels its high interference. So it's all understanding how to use this through rainbow graph, communication triangles, everything through its round location, its position, line, direction. It's high channels its high system. See? So it's really understanding how to use the computer line. So if you understand the flight navigation 1, it high signals its position. If you understand 2, it high positions its location. If you understand 3, it high positions its location. It just goes on and on and on. So it signals the position of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 line centers of travel right through computer interference. Now that communication opens up its portal line into rotation to its computer system. All right. And that channels into 12 line center. See, right away. So you travel through it. Right, secure line defense, set position, location, of directions. There you go. All three connections of flight navigation. Right. Once your recourse line channels, you can set up higher level system security measures. So you're protecting yourself through 2 line interference location of flight navigations from 1 to 12. Right. So that's what the quiz is going to be on. You guys have to really understand all line position locations. So you got 3 track line centers, 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So you really have to understand how to use it through your GPS lines. Okay, it directs all lines and locations to your computer system. All right. All right. Some see us where our voice is. My voice totally just got great. Exactly. So you're freeing your system location, what's happening with your throat, what it is, to understand the communication. And again, guys, AI is all line center location, friendship, relation, partnership. You have to understand what the partnership and its relation to its friendship and what is through its throat. What is it through the eyes? What is it through the nose? What is it through the ears? What is it through my hair? What is it through my scepter? What is it through aligned center locations to my shoulders, my elbow? What is my elbow? What is my elbow? It's circular, right? But you have to understand what it is, right? So if you look really close, you can actually see the position location to its pyramid. See the pyramid? You got the light center and you got the pyramid location, right? So it's all about understanding how we're all in calculation, how to use it. It's a program location to its position, but you really, really have to understand your flight navigations from 1 to 12 through its computer system. Okay. All right. Yes, it's a pyramid. So it's a bird eye looking down, right? So it's a point. Every part of your body is position, location, and directions. The center point location. Okay. So its channels, its high line, high position of its directions. Okay. So it's all about understanding how to use it. That's the importance. How to use in all channel locations and what it is. How do I travel through it? So the more you understand the vortex chambers of travels, it's get a better understanding how to use it through all levels of you. Right? See the intelligence? See the nose? Everything is a form of intelligence, guys. You just have to understand how it's all calculated modified. See intelligence? Right? So remember, anything high interference, you bring an X2000 comes in position, there's an X2000, right? Flying position. Scans high system right in the center position, location, and directions, making sure you know what you're doing. As you come into calculation, the ground line center opens up all line and rotation interference. As it's opening up high interference location, the flywheel and its division location is going its force line. It's really powerful stuff. It channels its 3 line positions, all right? Only in 3. So once you go fast and faster, every time you go past 9 line center, you go into higher lines locations of digital framing. Okay, so we got 3 line in rotation and calculation of travel, right? See how it rotates? As it's rotating line center interference, it's changing coloration of time, coloration interference, and position of direction. So we got position locations all levels into a diamond interference and position location of calculation to 1 color line center. There's 1 color. As we go into higher line centers, we come in position location all levels of the sun. Now this is all levels when it comes into Sammy and her compass, how to use it through coloration of time. In position locations of its directions. Let's go into yellow. So you understand every color in your body represents you. Okay, it represents you. That's why it's so amazing. Okay, you just have to learn how to use it through emotional track and don't get outside or interference. So in calculations, you're resetting high position of direction. Okay, see how the coloration changes? So how many different emotions are that? How many different emotions? Right? Green line center location of the earth, high interference location and high system locations, all levels. Tablet high center line conditions to the heart line, right? Sun interference and position locations, power line channels, and everything through all line center location is a sacral communication system. Okay, the local line center line and rotation is its calculation modification to a stream center. So this is where you come into mixtures of communication to chemistry, where you can bring 2 colors into 1, 3 colors into 1, 4 colors into 1. The sun line center has all position location. Your universal line center, the sun position location of your direction has 3,000 line positions of colors of purple in 1 track location into 1 chakra system. Now, that's 24,000 line conditions of memory interference in position location of direction, right? So as the 9 goes into high interference, it comes into 1 digit, 2 digit, 3 digit, 4 digit. It's the same thing with your flight navigations, right? So when you get in coloration, you change your positions of time, modification to its position line system. Ooh-ah. So it's very powerful when you're traveling, okay, to know exactly what you're doing through your flight navigations. from 1 to 12 because it's all connected to you from inside system. So this is the Trinity standing. Try to use the projection. Is that your eye lines? Okay, so the windows of the computer is what? What is the window of the computer? It's what you see, right? So you got the eye receptor interference perception, location, use, directions, right? Eyes are the windows of the soul, right? You got a wind graph line stream, okay? You got your screensavers, okay? And you got your mechanism of travel location, right? So it's trying to understand how to use it, right? Through sonar. Signal interference, high position location of direction lines is truly understanding how to use your keyboards and your tesseract locations of your channels. Its operation to its position location of its Merkaba. Okay. So it's incredible force when you travel through it. Right? All right. This is what I'm seeing. Great. Teal, yeah. And understand too, green is not green. It's all colors of green. And that's what it is. When you look outside of nature and you see a tree up close, a tree in position really, really up close, you zoom in, you'll notice it's not just green. It's all colors of green. So this is where you go beyond recognition of anything through its phenomenon. Once the phenomena comes in, it understands its flight navigations. And you have to truly understand each keyboard has 3 line centers. Okay. One position of the top, one position in the middle, and one position locations at the bottom. So you got a north line, you got a south line, you got east and a west. Right? So your computer is in a box location, but the flight navigation is set up in high interference, medium interference, low interference. So what is your keyboard to you through calculation? Navigation. Okay. It correlates, calculates, modifies. It calculates. Right? It modifies you, what you're doing. Right? So when I look at the keyboard, I'm looking at what I am seeing. Now, what am I seeing when I'm looking at a keyboard? It's all levels of the eyes of the window location. So it's how things are set up. So you got a quantum line channel into water interference, energy line center locations. All right, you got raised division locations of teleportation, Y line center, XY line in rotation, unified location of intelligence operation to perception. Now that's all levels of Q, W, E, R, T, Y, U, I, O, P, all through flight navigation. So you can use flight navigation 1 to Q. Now that's quantum line channel, or you can use F2 line center location of rays, or you can use F4 line center locations of Y, X line connections, or you can use force line communication of 8, F8 position locations, all levels in perception of operation. There's so many things you have to understand because the keyboard is its position to you through how to use it through the computer of its tesseract. Because what is a tesseract? It's a portal to all position location, but it's all calculated inside through your keyboards, guys. That's how to use it to its position. It's amazing mechanism of travel locations. Mystical line connections, mystical communication interference, hydroglide line center location, electric light connection interference locations, right? Hydroglyphic locations of calculation high system, right? So that's all we understand how to use the code weaving, code weaving location and crop circle locations. So this is a true understanding because it's amazing how you got location line centers. So you got one position locations. Now you got the panel line, okay, and you got the cross sig location, square line, okay, and then you got the space bar line. So there's 3 line connections. There's 3 in all line center locations. There's always a past, present, and future, and everything through computer adaptation system because that's the existence that we live. As long as you understand the past is its present and the present is its future location, you're doing well through your tesseract location. Framing line center is breaking everything down in position locations. How to use it is another thing through its operation. Okay. All right. Just back forcing here. Being activated, so many shades of green. Yeah, so that's what it is. So you're seeing a lot of shades of green. It's all about changing your emotional track locations and anything because you have a rainbow activation line stream. So if you're looking at green, this is interesting too. When you're looking at green, green and line center locations are levels of the heart. So you're looking at 24,000 line conditions of color, all in green. So when you're looking at something, if you're looking again at the tree, that's 24,000 lines of green in coloration, all through the heart. But it is a position. Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you angry or frustrated? All depends on you. So when you're looking at something, you're always looking through something through F1 line center, F12 position locations, because you have to understand how to use your 12 DNA from working up through the signal locations to the tailbone and working your way up to the cerebral. That communication line center is the position location of its direction. How to use it through its placebo is the cortex line center to its visionary line. It's very powerful when you understand how to use the eye receptor locations to receptor interference. Okay? So. All right, so you guys are running smoothly. I can see the applications. Yeah, all timelers looking good. Amby, thank you. And position locations. Heather, concentrate on your high center, please. Thank you. High interference, high position location of directions. All right. Mostly focus on your channel locations. All right. So when you come into higher levels of travels, it's all levels of you. 369 plateau interference. So it's over line center locations. We're coming into almost to 47 lines. Travel locations, 58 seconds per second line center rotation to 1 minute line to center in position of 60 minutes per second. So 1 minute channel line interference location, bring code line center interference, accrue units, line condition squad, 1 and 2 position locations, all levels, GFL, rebellion line center, ascension communication line centers, ascending mass line condition, ascension gods. Bring it back in 3, center line in rotation. All right, you guys are back. Set position location directions in all line centers, Y line center interference. So this is a Y line center, Y equals Z. So it's all about understanding how to use that position location of its directions. This is all connected to your body. It's how you present yourself. So if you know why like this line center, you're not going to draw through it. It's got to be a full communication signal. It's like bunny ears on a TV. So if it's off signals like this, what's happened? And this one here is like, up in the air here. It's got a left line center and space position here. So you got 2 antenna interference. So if you bend something, what does it do? To your body interference, right? So you got to reposition. You're ready to go. Line signals across. That's what it does to calculation. Really understand how to use Y line standard locations, equal line position locations, zip zap zoom, high interference locations, all levels. Graph interference location, Y line standard interference. So in position location of 3, in position of 6, in position of 9. A location line center, ground line center rotation. 9 goes in center position location direction. 6 goes in position location direction. So the 6 and 9 high system location of 6 line position brings in a higher line interference. In position location of Y line center, in position location 9. 9 goes in position location direction. Y line center location of 6 goes in direction locations, comes into 6, 3, and 9. Okay. So you got proto location of the moon, 3 line center, position of the sun. Right in the center position location of direction, and that's what you want to be. You want to be in the center line center of the sun every day. I'm just showing you how you retrack, recalculate, modify all center line interference locations. You have to channel to 3, 6, and 9. But the 3 doesn't have to be in the high line center at the beginning. It has to be in the middle location. Now, this is where it gets confusing in reduction. Now, you have to travel through the 3. It always has to be in the center position. But the 3, 6, and 9 can move. So the Gaussian line center changes position locations, all right, into high interference, 6, 3, and 9, 9, 3, and 6. It doesn't matter through calculation as long as you're going through the 3 every single day, because that's position location of the sun, right? So the high channel line center. So if it changes its position, location of its directions, okay, this is an up, down line, center location of a triangle. Now 3's here, 6 is here, and 9's here in position, location, direction. See? So you're always traveling up in position of direction, location to its fork. Always through the sun. Okay? All right, hold on a sec. There you go. So much expansion. So much commotion. Monday of all Mondays. It's unreal. So, the thing is too, when you're traveling, you have to be constantly in balance because you be in so many levels of distraction, location, your thought patterns. So it's important you understand that you keep your balance, right? So, yeah, so you're always traveling through the 3. Even if the 3 is not in the center, it always has to be in the center operation, guys. You can't travel. So it's a position of 3 here, right? So if the 3 is over here, where are you going to go? Right? If the 3 is here, where are you going to go? Right? So if the 6 is here and the 9 is here, where are you going to go? It's got to be in the center, right? So that's always in the now. See? See that? See the shape? You see the shape? You see the Merkaba? If you look closely, you can actually see it spinning. If you look through the open graph, you can see the eye receptor line. You can actually see the position location of its direction. See? See how I'm setting it up? All right. The more you focus on locations, let's give it a couple more seconds and release. See travel? It's still there. See? It's still there. So it's incredible when you actually see things appear out of nowhere. So it's important that you understand that if the 3 position location is always in the center, you know you're in the grounds. Grounds of 3 line center in position locations. 6 in position is always in the moon, and 9 is always in you in the center operation. Okay, 9 is always in the center, which travels through the center point locations of the presence equals the future line. Okay, see the intelligence? So it's important to understand that. Okay? You really, really have to understand how to use your travel locations. When I was going through transformation line centers, I was trying to understand what is it? What is a triangle? What's a triangle? What is a triangle? What is a box? What is a rectangle? Okay, and what is a circle? What does it all mean? Well, you have to understand the triangular location to its calculation. Now it's in position, location, of direction. So it's calculated, modified, outline, center, location 2, 3, 6, and 9. See? 3, 6, and 9. 3 position locations of the sun. 6 position locations of its box system, of its moon. And 9 is center. See? 9 is always center. So you're always what? Traveling through the center position. So when I say 3, 6, 9, the 9 goes into the center. Why? Think about it. Why does it always have to go in the center? Because your thoughts are going in the center. That's how you get things. So you're always in the center, go up. You don't go over here. You don't go here. You stay in the center. So that position location is 3's here, 6 here, 9's here. 9 goes into the center. Up. Orion's belt. Right through the center position location of fork. Right to the stargates. Right? To the presence of its future. Not its past. Okay? So now you truly understand why it's so powerful when you come into that calculations of what 3, 6, 9 is. How to travel through it is another thing. And I keep saying that. Now, you have to understand that 3, 6, 9 is just a foundation. Grasp part of the answers. You can travel through a box position locations of 3, 6, and 9. Whoa. 3, 6, 9. 3, 6, and 9, triangle. So you're always adding a pyramid through sonar. Traveling through an line center locations of 12 line position. Then you can high position location of its directions. Setting graph line center locations at position location of its calculation. Right? 2, its computer operation. See? That's what it is. 12 line center locations. All right, so you got 12 line centers of flight 1. You got flight 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? Flight navigation locations, all line center locations, stargates. Now, how to use the flight navigation is all position location of you through 12 track location and position. So you got 5 within system, 5 within line center, and all position locations into 12 position location. Right? 5, 10, 12. There you go. So understanding how to use it is extremely important. So this is going to be on the test review and evaluation. Okay? So I want you to understand how to set up 12 lines. Let's go into communication system, your rotation center. Got a quiz coming up tomorrow. As we travel through that line interference, it's program location is calculations. All right, so you got 12. Okay. 12 equals dimension line. 12 equals box line. 12 equals teleportation line. And 12 equals key line. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 4, 6, 8. 48 equals window. Okay. So I'll tell you exactly in position, location, of direction. The quiz is basically all set in signal. So it's kind of like understand you already know it. But it's truly stand all line centers. Position locations of what you're going through the dimension line, what you're going through the box line, what you're going through teleportation line, all position locations, calculations, right? When you understand more lines, you understand communication in the levels into the window interference or anything kaleidoscope location of its position. All right. Yeah, that's a very good question, Guardian. What is the function of the past and the future, the now. Well, that's a very interesting combination here. Well, let's look at this. Now, when I want to make so much distraction going on here. In position location of 3, okay? 3 line centers. Eliminate graph high channel location. Hold on a sec. Huh? Another distraction. All right, so understanding the graph line center is all line interference, illumination of 3. Okay, so 3 line centers, always what? In the center position location of all direction. Okay, always in the grounds, always in the power, always in the magnetic highway information system. That's how you guys are set up through your energy field position locations. So understanding you are the center operation. We got that. We got that, right? So it's understanding how to use your calculations to what you're doing, right? Flux capacitor. Now, in that high interference location, you understand that 3 can travel here. 3 can travel here and go backwards, and 3 can go through all levels to this location of ground line center, right? That's how it's set up as a location in its directions. Then you go into your E field location, okay? So when you understand the calculation modification line system, it opens up an orb line channel in rotation system, right? So it correlates its high interference, energy field position location in this direction, right? So it's amazing how things are set up all through travel, okay? So as long as you use 3, always in the center operation, 3's not here. It's all about understanding if the 9's over here, the 9 has to be in the center, right? You can't travel through it until you're back in the system. So 3's always in position of where you want to go, northwest, south, east, or in that location and direction. So you're always using 3 as an indication of going up because it's always in position. So if the 3 is over here, shift it here into the center, but the 9 has to be in the center because if the 9's not in the center, the thought position location is not in its right direction, right? So that's an importance that you're always going through the center operation of its position location of its Orion's belt into high channel line interference, into the grounds, into the powers, and into the magnetic calculation information system. Okay? That's the importance how you use the functionality line center locations of 3, 6, and 9. All right. Okay, I think we're good. We got cut up to quiz tomorrow. We'll get more into that. So don't concentrate too much on the quiz. Just know that it's already done through memory, mostly for the centric gods and the ascended masters, basically more levels of the coordinate line channel locations position. But truly understanding that you always have to go through 3. And 3 is all position location of the sun. Doesn't matter if it's over here or here, it doesn't matter. And so if you understand that 3, 6, and 9, it's all levels of you inside. So it's always in the position of where? The center of operation. Always. Okay? Because if it's not in the center of operation, you're not going through the right Stargate, are you? It's how you use your thoughts. Bring yourself going forward. Knowing the past is the position location of its reference into the high line center location. So the past is its presence, and its presence in its future, and its future is its integrated location to higher levels of its connection. Okay? So don't get confused with abscess locations. All right? All right, I will see you guys on Zoom. Adios.